Hi everyone, it's Lisa and welcome to Make It Monday. Today I'm going to teach you how to make stripes using your Simply Scored tool. Now I've created this card for an upcoming military graduation that we'll be attending, and it's this area here with these stripes. This is a quarter sheet of cardstock. I found when I made this card that it worked best if I made it a little bit bigger than what I needed, even though it was going to trim it down, and I'll show you why in just a minute. Quarter sheet of cardstock on your Simply Scored tool, best kept secret, wax paper. I like to rub my cardstock with it so my stylus will move smoother across the paper. What you're going to do is, starting here, you're going to score. Now take your time. Use the larger end of your scoring tool so that you get a nice deep crease. You're going to go into the next spot right next to it, which is 1/8, and make another. And then the next 1/8 notch, another. So you're going to have 3 lines directly next to each other. Then I want you to skip a 1/2 inch, which will take me to here, and I want you to repeat the pattern. So 1, 2, and 3. Skipping a 1/2 inch, doing the exact same thing. Now we're going to do this all the way across the cardstock. Okay, now when you're finished, I want you to leave the paper where it's at, and I want you to pull out the marker that you're going to use. If you're going to use the fine tip, which is this side, I'm going to recommend that you go straight up and down and you move very, very slowly so that your ink color is consistent through the stripe. Today I am going to use the fat side, or the marker side. So lining this back up, I am going to start here. I'm trying to keep my fingers out of the way so that you can see. And I'm going to pull down this stripe. Now this is why I left the paper longer than I need. So if I want to pick up my marker before the end, I can. Going back down in here. And the next one. And I'm going to repeat this process all the way across all those scored lines. Okay, so I've just finished the last one here, and now we're all set to go. What I did when I created this card, I wanted to show you, as I was going to block out a section here so that I could put the stars in. And this piece was trimmed down to 3 3/4 by 5. And then I cut this down to 2 1/2 by 2 1/4, and I mounted it in the corner right over those stripes. And I used the stamp set, Words of Courage, to stamp a sentiment on the front of the card, as well as stamp, and I cut out some stars to mount here. And mounted some words inside from the stamp set Pure Gumption, and then I markered in just the word congratulations. Now I'm going to give you a couple tips when you try this technique. You're going to need some patience. Make sure you score deeply inside the paper and take your time when you're tracing it. Again, if you're using a darker marker, the pen side of your marker works really, really well, and just take your time when you draw it so you get consistent color. I hope that you've liked today's technique, and I look forward to seeing you next week for another Make It Monday.